Enryu is one of the most popular characters in all of Tower of God, and yet he's never actually appeared in the story. We've only seen him through flashbacks and heard about him from different people dropping tidbits of information here and there, and blog posts of course, so there's so much mystery and intrigue surrounding Enryu, and yet there's still a lot of information to dissect about him, so today we're gonna dive into who is Enryu, why is he so mysterious, and why does everybody love him so much, aside from the fact that he's really handsome, because he really is. If you haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. We talk a lot about Tower of God here, and like the video if you want to see more videos like this. We upload daily here on the channel, and I want to continue making more videos on Tower of God lore specifically. Enryu was the very first Irregular ever to enter the tower under Jahad's rule. So excluding Jahad and the 10 great families and all of them, he was the very first Irregular to enter. So before Pentamina, before Yurik, before Bum and Rachel, of course, Enryu was the first. He was the OG. He's a spear bearer whose nickname is the Red Tower. And he got this nickname because all the Shinsu around him and the Shinsu he would use would turn red in his presence. And I feel like this is really cool. It just shows you how powerful he is. We know that Shinsu can come in many different shapes and forms, but the Shinsu around him would just shape and change and become red. That's pretty freaking intimidating and scary, but also really cool. Like I said, he was the first Irregular ever to enter the tower after Jahad, and he's famous for being the only person ever in the tower's existence to be able to create Shinsu, to be able to create life from Shinsu. This has never been done before, and I feel like this is sort of his number one defining trademark, aside from his one huge action that he did, which we'll talk about in a second. Enryu apparently can create life from Shinsu. Now, we don't know if he's able to, well, like what that defines, right? Can he create humans? Are they exactly the same? Does he create animals? Does he create creatures? You know, we don't really know. We just know that he is able to breathe life into living beings through Shinsu. It's never been done before. There's been experiments and that sort of thing, but I don't know. That right there is fascinating enough about Enryu, the fact that he can actually create life. His current whereabouts are completely unknown. We really don't know what his purpose is, what his goals are, and what he's trying to do. Is he even trying to do anything? He does seem to be anti-Jahad, which we'll get into in a second, but if he is, he really isn't doing anything to stop Jahad, at least right now, right? He's kind of been in the shadows, and he's not a part of an organization like Yurik is. He's not leading this rebel group or anything like that. He's just kind of chilling. Now, that's not to say that he hasn't done anything, because that would be the farthest you can be from the truth, right? Enryu did one of the most crazy things in the tower's history. He killed a guardian. Now, if you don't know, guardians, there's a guardian for each floor of the tower. It's that giant fish thing that Bomb talked to on the second floor, and blah, blah, blah. They're basically like, they come in many different shapes and forms. Hedon is the guardian of the first floor, right? They're extremely powerful and seemingly immortal beings of the tower. They were there long before Jahad. So when Jahad and his friends entered, they were there to greet them, right? They're immensely powerful and immortal. Or so we thought, because Enryu killed the guardian of the 43rd floor. This has never been done before. It shook up the tower. It was bonkers. So the floor of death to this day does not have a true guardian to replace the one that Enryu killed. There was chaos, Hell Joe and all that stuff, but like that guardian died. And it threw everything off. The Shinsu on that floor got all messed up. Enryu did the impossible. Now, this is most likely because he was an Irregular, and he is an extremely powerful Irregular, which we'll get to in a second, his powers and such, but it shook up everything. Now, at first, we didn't know the exact reasoning as to why Enryu did this, but we do find out during the Floor of Death arc that Enryu came to the Floor of Death because he had apparently heard that Jahad was like desecrating the floor or whatever, and the thing about the Floor of Death is that it used to be inhabited by Arlen, and in fact, Bomb was apparently born there, right? And raised there, or whatever, I don't know. It's confusing, the lore gets complicated, but he came there and was like, Jahad is not honoring that. So already we're like, wait, Enryu's loyal to Arlen? Like, what's going on there? One thing led to another, and he slaughtered the Guardian, and he killed a ton of Jahad quote-unquote Jahad fanatics on that floor, and he even called Jahad a false king. So, again, he seems to be anti-Jahad, and this is sort of like the one main huge anti-Jahad thing that he did. And this just changed everything. It completely changed everything, and after he wiped out all those people and the Guardian, he left behind a huge red thing called the Thorn. I'm sure a lot of you guys knew that, but it's still kind of cool to see how it all comes full circle. Enryu left behind a lot of his power in the shape of this thorn, and it fragmented, so Bomb has 2 of the thorn fragments, blah, blah, blah. Somehow Thug got a hold of it. You know, we really don't know how all that happened, who knows? But regardless, Enryu did the impossible. Again, creates life. Did the impossible by slaying the Guardian. His events lead to the Thorn's creation. Even though Enryu is not directly in person in the story like Yurik, his actions change everything, which is so cool. So his actions on the floor of death led to him becoming number 1 in the tower. He was ranked number 1. He passed up Jahad, and he was ranked number 1. Obviously, Yurik comes in, Pentaminum comes in, Pentaminum before Yurik, I believe, and Pentaminum becomes number 1, and Yurik becomes number 4, blah, blah, blah. But Enryu was the number 1 guy for a long time, and to this day, he's still number 2, despite the fact that he really has stopped doing anything. We haven't heard from him in a long time. I think since the Floor of Death, we really don't know what he's up to. So I'm curious to see if he is going to come back into the story and all that. But regardless, talking about Enryu's powers. Enryu is a beast. Enryu is able to control, okay, so to put this into perspective, in the second season in the beginning, Bomb and Quattro and all these people are shown to be extremely talented because they're able to control 3+ bangs, right? When Bomb was able to show 5 bangs and use them all at once, it was like mind-blowing to people like Ron and Nobik and Quattro and blah blah blah. Enryu is able to control 9,000. And that is a Dragon Ball reference, that's how you did say that it was, it's kind of obvious. He's able to control over 9,000 bangs. So that's still fact, despite the joke, that's still fact. Think about that, right? It doesn't mean that he's like, see, controlling a bang just takes so much concentration. The way I think about it, this isn't canon, but the way I would think about it is, we're able to control 2 arms. Like, that's how we think about it. 2 arms, 2 legs. It'd be like growing an extra limb. That sounds so foreign to us. It's like, how would you do that, right? That's sort of how I see it with Enryu. It's like, whoa, wait, Bomb is able to control 5, focus on these 5 things all at once? And Enryu walks up and is like, yeah, 9,000. What? Like, that is insane. No regular or irregular or anyone, rank or whatever, has ever come close to that, right? Not even close. So that alone is insane. He uses this technique called Red Rain that he can use to wipe out many rankers all at once. And it's pretty scary. Like, I would not want to run into Enryu, that's for sure. A lot of people debate on who the strongest irregular is, and obviously Pentaminum's number 1. But don't sleep on Enryu. Like, he's number 2 for a reason. This guy's insane, and there's a reason why everybody fears him so much. Again, when he came into the tower, it changed everything. Even before they found out he could create life. Even before he slew the Guardian. Because he was an irregular. And his power was like nothing they had ever seen. So I think Enryu's super cool. I mean, his design is obviously a huge part of as to why he's so popular in the Tower of God community, but I'm very curious to see if SIU will bring him back because he's so popular, but also, like, what are his motivations? Like why did he do the things that he did? Is he an Arlen loyalist? Like, how did he know about all that? What's going on there? Maybe that will connect him to Bomb in the future if he does show up. I think the community would go wild if he did show up. But what's he doing? Is he doing stuff in the shadows? I don't know, but I'm curious what you guys think. Those are my thoughts on Enryu. We'll see where it goes from here, so let me know your thoughts on Enryu in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys. We do have a Patreon if you want to support these kinds of videos. Link is in the description down below. And we have a Discord server where you can talk to your heart's content about Tower of God and any fandom that you are part of that you want to talk about. It's all there, so consider joining our Discord as well. Link is also in the description down below. below. And if you guys want to see more Tower of God lore, tell me what kinds of lore videos you want to see on certain types of characters or organizations or even a location. Let me know and I'll consider talking about it. But thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next Tower of God lore video. Take care.